Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we are going to be finding out what happens if you bring Sadie Adler back to her ranch after it's burned to the ground. So I was inspired to try this when I got a message on my Facebook page from Maria, who actually wanted me to try this, but when she asked if I could try this experiment, I said that that's a good idea, but how would you get Sadie to ultimately follow you? Because this game, unlike some RPGs, like let's just use Skyrim for example, doesn't have a companion system where someone will follow you wherever you go. So I was thinking to myself, this is kind of going to be hard because there'd be no way to get Sadie Adler up to her ranch. Outside from that first mission, she never goes up there. In fact, before we sort of dive into the experiment I want to jump into in this video, the only time we actually see Sadie Adler at her ranch is in the very first mission of the game, Outlaws from the West in Chapter 1.
Micah.
Gentlemen,
Found anything?
I think so. Found a little homestead down that way.
Okay. Anyone home?
Sure. Place is blazing with light and noise. Sounded like a party.
Let's go see.
Follow me. Okay. Let's keep it down now, gentlemen. It's just up ahead.
Snuff and stash those lanterns, boys. Best you two lie low on this. Arthur, let's go search the cabin.
Smells like a party in here.
Turn the place upside down. Grab as many supplies as you can. We need the essentials. Food, medicine, whiskey.
Huh. Looks like the poor bastard was married too. At some point.
If we can't eat it or drink it, put it down.
Get away from me!
Micah, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I got Oh, look what I found in the cellar! Wild thing, ain't ya?
Leave her alone!
I wasn't doing nothing. She's one of them O'Driscolls.
No, she ain't, Micah. Look at her. Miss. Are you...
Oh, you fool! Micah!
Miss. Now, it is gonna be okay. We mean you no harm. Miss. Come on. It'll be okay. We need to get out of here, and quick. Come on now. Oh. You okay, miss?
They came 3 days ago. And my husband,
Okay. Miss, you are safe now. And you can't stay here. You come with us. Arthur.
Miss, it's okay. We're bad men. We ain't them. So, it's okay. Get on. We'll keep you safe until you figure out what you want to do.
What's your name, miss? Miss.
Adler,
Adler.
Sadie Adler, Mrs. He was my husband.
Okay, so that right there should give you a better idea of what happened to Sadie and her ranch. Basically, the O'Driscolls overran her ranch, they killed her husband, and it's suggested that they did some not so great things to Sadie. Hopefully you can sort of read between the lines there. I'm sure you can. So needless to say, her time at that ranch probably had some great memories of her and her husband, but her last memory was probably also one of her worst. Having it burned to the ground, the death of her husband, stuff like that. So I thought it would be interesting if she could return. Would she have some unique lines of dialogue? Would the game allow you to have her return there? and a bit more. So I wanted to try that out. Now, the other day I showed you guys this mission in Epilogue Part 2 where you actually hunt down a bounty with Sadie. You're hunting down a man named Ramon Cortez. And in that mission, as you are heading to Painted Sky, which is where Ramon Cortez is located, I noticed that instead of you following Sadie, the game allows you to sort of take the lead. It's one of the very few instances, or one of the very few missions, where this is the case. And I don't know why Rockstar decided to do this in some of the missions, and some of them not be the case. So in this exact scenario, we can basically go wherever we want. Now, the game is telling us to go to Painted Sky, but even if we go off the path, the mission will not fail, and Sadie will follow us wherever we go. So this is pretty cool. This means that we could potentially lead her back to her ranch to see if she would have any interesting reactions. Now, I'd say the only downside to doing something like this is, of course, it cannot be done in free roam. It has to be done in a specific mission. But like I mentioned earlier, because there is no companion system, like in a game like Skyrim, it's the only way in which Sadie would literally follow you up to that location. So from there, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. You just need to ignore sort of the golden path that's going to be set on your minimap that in my scenario would take us to Painted Sky, and instead you just need to go to the Adler Ranch. Now, I will say the one nice thing about this being in a mission is you won't run into anything that could potentially kill you. Like, for example, you won't run into ambushes. You won't run into wild animals that you have to fend off. You won't run into chance encounters that could hurt you. So that is nice. Your journey up there should be pretty easy. Now, another downside to this is, especially if you're going back and having to replay the mission, you aren't going to have your normal horse. You aren't going to have your normal outfits. And in this instance, I didn't have a winter outfit for John. So it was a little bit chilly, let's just say that, when we got closer to the Adler Ranch. Now, another thing that was sort of nice about doing this in a mission is the time didn't change. So it was like always sunny and it was always daytime. So we could stay there for as long as we want, and it was always going to be like picture perfect weather in order to check out the ranch. So we were getting closer, and then we eventually made our way to the ranch. And in case you guys have actually never come back to the Adler Ranch after that first mission, I'll leave a link to a video I did a couple of weeks ago in the description that sort of outlines more of the intricate details of coming back here after it's burned to the ground. But we brought Sadie here, and I was hoping that she would say something. Now, the good news is that we were allowed to go back onto the ranch grounds. There was nothing that the game did that prevented us from going inside the fence of the Adler Ranch. So that, of course, is good news. Sadie didn't have any problem with that. Unfortunately, though, she didn't really say anything else or react any differently outside of that. We didn't get any lines of dialogue from her saying like, John, I'm uncomfortable here. Why are we going back here? There was like little lines of dialogue that would happen if I got off of my horse. She would say like, get back on your horse. We need to get going. But I don't think that was specific to being at the Adler Ranch. I'm pretty sure if we had gotten off our horse at any location, she would have had the same reaction. But nevertheless, it is still really cool to see this location after that first mission because, again, that's the only time in which you see this ranch, and then it's completely burned to the ground. And there is still a couple of things that you can do here. Like, for example, there's a lockbox inside of the house. And when I got that, I figured it might actually trigger like an encounter or something like that from Sadie because it is jewelry, which you can only imagine has to be hers. But taking the lockbox didn't do anything. But it is cool that you can still gather stuff like that even though you are in this mission. And there's a couple of other barns and little buildings on the ranch itself. As I explained in the video, which I'll have linked in the description, it's really difficult to get back inside those. There are a couple of changes at the ranch aside from the house being burned to the ground. Sadie Adler's husband, his body is nowhere to be found. Remember, Micah Bell was like supposed to bury it. It turns out that he never did, so we don't know what happened to the body. There's a good chance he either left it and it decayed, or he burned the body just to simply get rid of it quickly. We're not too sure, but he's not here, and Sadie has no reaction to that. But she will just follow you around the entire premise of the ranch, which is pretty cool. And at the end of the day, even though there weren't any specific lines of dialogue here, this did open up a lot of really cool opportunities for future experiments. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Do you know of any other missions in-game that work similar like this, where you, the main character, Arthur or John, are the leader, and you have a companion that sort of follows you around? This could lead to some cool experiments. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but if you can, let me know in the comments down below or reach out to me on my Facebook page. Let's see what other characters we could take to other really cool specific locations. I think that would be a lot of fun. So let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below, or reach out to me on my Facebook page. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.